Hello, Internet, and welcome to Saturday night's Mistborn. Thanks for joining us here, everyone, for fourth installment, fourth installment of the Mistborn RPG series, the one and only, as far as I know, on the internet. I think we might corner the market with this campaign. I actually have no idea. But thank you, everyone out there, for joining us today. We're super excited to be back here for our game. We're going to talk about that in a minute and get caught up on what we're currently doing on our stream here today. But first, if you are interested in what you're seeing and you like our content, you want to see more, join us tomorrow for our next stream. That's going to be Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time here on GGK, where we're going to be playing a game called Wesen. It's a series called Thursday's Children that Savannah has running for a little while now, and it's a lot of fun. Sort of paranormal investigating, monster hunting in the Scandinavian North in the 18th century. It's super fun. Come join us for that tomorrow. Otherwise, we will be back for our Tabletop Tuesdays stream this week on Tuesday, potentially, where they're playing one of two games, and we'll announce which one we're doing when we know it's happening. We will unfortunately be missing out on our streams on Thursday and Friday this week because of traveling, so there will not be an Elegant Magics or.
We might potentially have something Thursday anyway in place of Elegant Magics.
Okay.
Depending on some things.
Okay. Well, my producer is telling me there might be something on Thursday instead of Elegant Magics.
Don't just take our word for it. Keep an eye on our Twitter, is all I'm saying.
Okay. So, that cryptic announcement, we will also not have a stream on Friday. But then we should be back with our normal schedule starting, I guess, next Sunday or Tuesday. I don't know. Just keep an eye on our announcements. Schedules are crazy right now. September's been a month. So, merch store. Because I like to plug this when I remember. We've got a merch store you can use to support our channel and buy all sorts of cool stuff. We've got awesome t-shirts and mugs and hoodies. Do we have hoodies? I don't remember if we have hoodies on there. Yeah, we've got hoodies on there. We've got all sorts of fun things that you can buy on our store if you follow the links below our faces, if you're watching us live on Twitch. And support our channel. It's lots of fun things. I don't think I have anything else to promote or shill here at the beginning, so I will turn it over to my crew here to introduce themselves, talk about what they are, who they are, anything else they do, and who they're playing here tonight. Starting with Savannah, I believe, goes first.
Yeah, hello. I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets, mostly on Twitter and here. You can find my streaming schedule pinned to the top of my Twitter page. I am here Thursdays through Sundays, either playing in games or running them. I run Thursday's Children, which Val mentioned, on Sundays. So come join us for that tomorrow. And on most Sunday nights, I'm on twitch.tv/lbhackemup playing Dungeons and Dragons. But today I am playing Violette, who is a Mistborn noblewoman, general trouble starter.
Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex. OMG, it's some guy on the internets, mostly on this channel, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. We're still figuring out what we're going to do next Tuesday because we'll be down in LB, so we can't exactly do the Burbs game. I don't know that David and I can handle that one, by ourselves, missing half the players. And yeah, we're going to figure something out. We may also just take the night off because we'll be down a couple players, but we'll be sure to tweet about it and post about it in the Discord. For today's game, I am playing Hadzel, who is a terraceman steward, who is also a secret keeper, who practices feruchemy.
RJ.
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ. You can catch me at rjustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things of my life and sometimes stream with my friends. I'm all over the place on the internet. Send help. I tweet whenever I go live. Today I'm playing ZaKeer, who is a Conjure spy.
Oh, Morgan. Sorry, I forget which channels or which streams we actually. I go through the names of who we're doing and who I just leave it to. So, Morgan, please go.
Got it. Hi, I'm Morgan. I am in this game playing Mouse, who is a tin eye misting, and this is the only game I'm currently in. So, hello.
A Mistborn exclusive. I am Val at the Kraken's Crown on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me here Thursdays through Sundays playing and running games. Some weeks I'm here Thursdays through Sundays. Very few of them lately with all of our schedule stuff. But most notably, I run Neon Souls on Fridays, which is our cyberpunk cipher system game. We're rearing up for our season finale of that coming soon. So come check us out for our part 1 finale in 2 weeks, potentially. There might be additional parts to it, seeing how much they get through. And then on alternating weeks from this game, I run a game called Saturday Night's Star Power, where we play Fate in a JoJo's Bizarre adventure-inspired setting. And that's pretty much it. For me, I will be your narrator this evening. Is everyone ready to get started? Alrighty. Previously on Saturday Night's Mistborn, your crew was dealing with the fallout from your scuffle on the roof of House of Keep Laurent, where you had skirmished with a Mistborn who had been revealed to be an obligator. Understanding the gravity of this, should this obligator identify Hadzel's abilities or potentially even Violette's, you decided to lay low for a bit and gather on play things safe for a few days to figure out where things might fall. Hadzel hid out in a safe house provided by Mouse's friend Twist, which you were able to get by owing Twist a favor, which might be cashed in soon. You also laid a bit of a sort of trail of breadcrumbs for anyone looking for Hadzel to follow, as ZaKeer, taking on a form approximating Hadzel's, left the city, trying to lead attentions outside of Luthadel. When you were all able to gather without anyone seeming to come to House Laurent and looking for the terracemen, you decided that things were clear enough for Hadzel to rejoin your group and come up with the next course of action. You had been able to identify the name of this obligator as a obligator Cedric Alariel, formerly of House Alariel, one of the fifth born son to the one of these prominent noble families, who had left to join the church when they reached adulthood. Not knowing much of their methods or their intentions with this information, not knowing why they attacked your house, you worked on the only lead that you currently had that was provided you by the Scoth thief that you had captured during the night of the attack, Dirk, who is now a member of Violette's house guard. Had told you a little bit of the thieving crew that they run with. You decided to find out more information by I guess infiltrating would be it was a pretty brazen infiltration, as ZaKeer took on the guise of Dirk, entered the lair of this crew, and confronted the leader of the ska thieving crew named Sting directly. Had a conversation, kind of laid out the potential business dealings you might be able to have with they might be able to have with House Laurent, and the conversation went fairly well. Maybe it's not as well as you had hoped, but you were able to get a bit of information from them that they had been hired. Did I give you the name of the house of who they had been hired by? I don't remember if I did. I don't think you got. It's in my notes, but I don't think you actually got the name. But they had been hired
No,
by
we tried to, and he was like, "Nah, I'm out of here."
Yeah, I don't think it was. You did quite good enough for that. But they had been hired by a presumably a noble family because of a rumor that House Laurent has a substantial ATM supply, and they were looking to cash in on that. You also had a bit of a dealing in the dark, in the mists. I don't remember if it was before that. I think it was before your meeting with Sting, where Violette threatened some thugs out in near the square of the Luthadel sort of central district, trying to get some information from them. But as we left off last time, you have your plan to attend the Venture Ball in hopes of finding out more about House Chevalier, your current target, House Alariel, your sort of greater threat, and why these rumors are stirring up around House Laurent, and people seem to be taking quite such an interest to you. So that's where we're going to start here today. I mentioned this off stream to my players, but I'd like to go ahead and jump into the ball as soon as possible. Does anyone have any anything that they need to do before going to the ball?
ZaKeer leaves the keep real quick, finds a place to get some horsehair, gets one of Sacha's suits tailored to fit more of his body type, gets everything, heads into a room in the keep that he knows he won't be disturbed in, and starts changing his form. I need the horsehair for actual hair, because I can't replicate it myself.
Okay.
Gross.
Is there a specific form you're taking?
He's going to take a generalized form, basically taking different parts of people that he knows to make this sort of generic noble look. Like a very strong chin, like dignified hairstyle, highbrow.
Todd Nobleman.
Ah, yes, I am Hubert Manning. I will now go eat with my mouth.
Great. Yes, you can definitely do this. I get this image of so what is the we had talked about this at the end of the last stream. I just want to make sure. Violette is going as herself with Hadzel as her steward, Mouse as one of maybe like the carriage driver, somebody else who might be near the ball but maybe not necessarily like in there, like attending it.
Yeah, not in like the immediate entourage, but
yeah. And then Sasha was going to be going as your cousin, and then ZaKeer, are you planning on also coming as part of this entourage or arriving separately?
He would probably not have the money to hire a separate coach, so he'd go with the entourage. Maybe the maybe a cover would be a friend from the countryside has come to visit, and Violette is showing them Luthadel.
Okay. Yeah. So Violette's attending with quite an escort with her from her cousin Sacha. I don't remember the last name.
Velour.
Velour
Oh yeah. I forgot that was his cover name.
and Lord Hubert Manning.
Orlin Glynn.
Orlin Glynn.
Yes,
That's a mouthful.
Glyn. Glynn.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. I gotta write that down because I'm gonna forget it.
Because Hubert Manning is a little too on the nose.
Glym. Now Orlin Lyn, like
Orlen.
M as in Mary.
N as in
Or-
Nancy.
Okay.
M
Orlin.
as in Mancy.
Mancy.
I hate all of you. Never change.
Stupid. All right. So, unless anybody has any objections to it, I'd like to pick up with evening having fallen over Luthadel. The carriage around you sort of shaking slightly over the cobblestones as the horses drawing it approach the Venture Keep. Mouse attending the reins as you approach the line of carriages that are currently trailing out from the main Venture sort of threshold. There are lights sort of streaming out into the night. The whole keep seems to be glowing almost in the darkened mists as your carriage begins to make the slow crawl behind this line of them that continuously stops as dozens and dozens of noblemen and ladies and the like have file out into the evening towards the Venture Hold. So right now it is Sacha, Violette, ZaKeer, or say Lord Glim, and Hadzel in the carriage. You arrive and your carriage kind of comes to a slower stop as Mouse brings it to a halt outside of the steps leading up to the ball. The door opens as one of the servants of House Venture opens the carriage side door closest to the facade of the building and escorts Violette out, while ZaKeer and Hadzel and Sacha step out in turn. Mouse, you are given direction to proceed, where there is a line of carriages now resting off, like to the side of the keep, derelict and waiting for their masters to return. So you have made it into the walls, if not the building itself. While as you are approaching, I'll do a little bit of kind of like a flashback sequence too, as tucked into your pocket currently is a piece of parchment that was delivered to you earlier this day that you received from Twist, and you ruminate on its contents as you bring the carriage to a stop. I was debating whether I was going to give this to Morgan like secretly or but I think it'll be more interesting if everyone knows, because we can all sort of play in on the fun. Mouse, you have been given your favor has been cashed in by Twist, and she has given you a special job. You can decide whether or not you've shared this with your comrades.
Okay.
Knowing that you're attending the venture ball, as or play, or that people close to you are attending, and you might be able to get in close as well. Twist is asking for a copy, or a transcript of, or the actual ledger itself, of the business dealings belonging to one Lady Josephine Venture.
Oh, okay.
That would be found in the lady's study, which she has told you is on the 3rd floor of the keep, near the southern wing.
Okay.
In the southern wing.
Southern Wing, 3rd floor. Josephine Venture.
Mhm.
Okay. Do we know exactly where the like drop was supposed to happen? And to the rest of the crew, do we have notes on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Somewhere in my notes.
Okay. Morgan doesn't remember it.
Drop it off on a balcony on the 2nd floor, 3rd window to the left at midnight.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
So has Mouse told everyone about her secret mission?
Probably. I think she would have definitely like told Hadzel, in the sense like he knows about like fancy houses and would like know what to look for, because like how to like just like give Mouse an idea of like what she's looking for.
Y'all are free to play that scene out retroactively if there's anything Hadzel would want to say.
Yeah, so something about like her ledger.
Well, it is perhaps clever of Twist to try and get it during the party when Lady Venture would be preoccupied hosting. It is very unlikely that its absence would go unnoticed, so attempting to make a copy of it is probably a safer option if you don't want. I do not believe that they would be able to trace it back to you, its theft, but probably better for everyone if House Venture doesn't go on high alert.
Alright, so if I figure out a way to make a copy of it.
We can provide you ink and parchment, and I think at some point probably walks Mouse through Uncle Renaud's study when he's not in there, and it's just like, these are, this is typical of a nobleman's setup. This is likely where they would keep this stuff, so helps at least give her ideas of where to narrow down the search.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And hopefully they will be able to read my chicken scratch. Because I guessing I probably won't have enough. Well, I say me, I'm assuming I'm going to go in there. I'm probably the best one to kind of be unnoticed, but probably won't have very long with it, right? Is it common for there to be like meetings back there in our offices and stuff during the ball, or would it all happen out in public?
I guess that is ultimately more a question for the GM, whether or not it is common practice for, the hosts of the balls to have,
like secret
backroom
meetings or whatever.
dealings.
Yeah. Is that like not a thing?
During the main event of the evening itself, it would be rude for the person hosting the ball to leave. That being said, not unheard of entirely for them to duck away for a secret backroom meeting. So I would say the time you would know, Hadzel, that during the dinner portion of the evening would probably be the safest time for Mouse to actually do this because it's more likely that no one will be back there. But definitely to still be ready because there could be anyone meandering around the keep.
So pass that along.
Okay.
Perhaps we get Mouse a change of clothes that could match, House Venture servant attire.
Ooh. Yeah,
Ooh,
because they
that's
probably have
very
like
good.
house colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like this plan.
This sounds like something that we would use the mechanics of this game to acquire.
Yeah.
Actually playing the game?
Right? This sounds like something you would roll resources for.
Okay. Me or Alex?
Whichever one of you would be taking the initiative here. I would say you could either, I could justify here either using resources or influence for these two things. Resources would be more like using financial means to accomplish this, to have somebody make or create a copy or approximation of the guard's uniform.
Mhm.
The idea being there is that if it doesn't go well, if there are any sort of complications here, you may end up with something that isn't as good, that may not hold up to close scrutiny.
Okay.
If you use influence, I would say that would be leveraging your influence and your standing to actually obtain an actual uniform. If that doesn't go well, has ramifications, it's probably more so like putting the guards on alert or potentially somebody catching wind. So,
Okay.
but you would have an exact copy. You would have an actual uniform
Yeah.
from the staff.
Okay. My influence is higher than my resources, so I'm leaning towards that one.
I've got
But
3 resources, 2 influence. I don't know
we're
what
like
yours
flip
are,
flop. We're flipped. I'm the other way.
but neither of us has higher than a 3.
Yeah.
I think I'm leaning towards resources would probably be a little bit safer
Okay.
in terms of, and hopefully no one's gonna inspect the stitching of your outfit and be like, hey, this isn't right.
Hey, wait a second. Okay. Then yeah, if you want to roll for that, then.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll roll using your number, your total. You'll have to spend 1 resource to do this though.
That's automatically gonna roll.
You can. This is the same as any other roll where you can add your. We can go through the process of forming a dice pool.
Yeah, adding more stuff on there.
So, do you have any? This will be a roll using resources. Do you have any traits that would apply?
I mean, I'm a terrace steward. I'm probably used to handling this sort of business for the houses I've run.
Okay, yeah, I would allow that. So you can add a die for that. And any other traits that you would argue apply to this as well?
I mean, maybe that I'm also like a noble court expert, and so I'll have slightly better knowledge of how to duplicate the uniform.
Yeah, I would also add that. Okay. Do you have any burdens currently?
I do not.
Okay. Tools.
I just have my metal mines.
Yeah, nothing for that. Circumstances. I don't think you necessarily have any favorable conditions here that would help. You don't have a lot of time. I'm trying to decide if that would be an adverse condition to this. I don't think you have to. I think the only adverse condition I can think of is time, and it takes 2 or more to shrink the pool.
Similarly, like I was thinking maybe for favorable is like if they're outsourcing, like getting all their servants, fresh new digs, we could somehow get in on that. But again, that's just one situation.
Yeah, so 1 and 1 doesn't add anything or subtract anything. So we'll go with the pool as it exists. Go ahead and roll.
All right, so that is 5d6. 5 and pair of 5 and pair of 2s.
Okay, pair of fives is very good. It's the highest you can roll. So yes,
Hey.
I think you you obtain a essentially a accurate, identical copy of a. Were you looking for like a servant's
Yeah, something that would
attire?
allow her to move about the house largely
Yeah.
unquestioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you have a so Mouse as you arrive, maybe like tucked under your
Maid
seat or
outfit.
in a small satchel. Yes, uh, all the attendants or all the servants in House Venture dress like French maids. Uh,
Love it.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them,
Oh,
like
oh,
all of
okay.
them. It's not gendered. All of them dress like French maids. No, this is probably something a little more subdued. Probably something uh, like a high collar jacket in the Venture colors, which I realize I've done no research into what those would be, and
Yeah, 'cause
probably something.
What's Violette's house colors? I remember we talked about it like way back when.
Purple.
Purple. Okay.
Definitely. I was imagining the Ventures being like more monochromatic, like a black and gold or something like that.
If you'd like to know, the House Venture colors are red and black with gold.
Hey!
Damn, I was one color off.
I found it on the
There you
internet.
go.
Thank you.
Red and black and gold. All right. Very fancy.
So close. All right. So yeah. So red and black uniform with some gold trim on it that you have a stash that you can change into when nobody's looking. Cool. So while Mouse is prepared for this subterfuge and this mission that she is on, again, you knowing that the best time to do this is going to be during dinner, which you are still a little bit of time away from. I'd say the kind of the organization that I'm imagining for the evening is there is going to be about an hour of like socializing at the beginning of the ball as people are arriving and speaking and talking. There would be then an hour for dinner that will take place immediately after, and then after dinner begins the dancing portion of the evening, which will probably go on for the next couple hours. So. And I would say that goes up until the arrival time, probably about an hour into the dancing is midnight, and that's when you're going to need to make the drop. If we're making sort of like a timeline for the evening and when things are going to take place.
Nice.
So we are in the pre-dinner portion of the evening currently, where y'all can play out and do some socializing. And, yeah. I also talked about this a little bit off stream before we get into the ball itself, and I do my description of what that looks like. One of the mechanics that, or not to say a mechanic, but one of the things that is at play here are rumors for y'all to pick up on and investigate. That's going to be sort of your main goal here. There are a lot of prominent nobles that I'm going to introduce in a second. Names I'm going to throw at you for people that are present, the most important people that are present. I'm not going to go through everyone that is present at the ball. That would be obnoxious. And there are specifically 6 rumors that I have crafted for this evening for y'all to discover. There may be others that come up, but of increasing difficulty for y'all to find and convince people to give you. So that's sort of your mission here, in addition to anything that you want to do over the course of this this event that would benefit your characters. But I'm planning for this to take a while, so we'll see how much of that we plan on getting through today. So I'm cutting right now to the group as we begin our scene is entering the ballroom. You ascend the steps and through the front entranceway into the Venture Keep, stepping into the glistening interior of the Venture Ballroom, a massive structure dwarfing any ballroom that you have stood in previously. Violette, and dwarfing many times over the size of most common ska homes. A enormous dance or central floor to the space sprawls out in front of you. Tables lining a perimeter of a ovular dancing space where the nobles currently gather and drink and converse. The dozens and dozens of tables that line the room are equally and extravagantly adorned with red drapings and golden silverware that glisten under the lights cascading down from a multiple tiered enormous chandelier that hangs from the center of the ballroom's domed roof. Leading up from the ballroom, you can see there are towards the back of the kind of the corners of the halls, almost obscured by some pillars that support the lined structures, and hidden behind buttressing, there are small stairways that lead up to balconies that line multiple tiers to the ballroom. Each of these balconies also adorned with golden filigree and stone and metal carvings that seem to spiral and cascade down, giving sort of a powerful display of light and energy to kind of build down towards the well at the bottom of the ballroom itself. There are additional dining tables up towards the tops of these on these upper balconies. On the second balcony, overlooking the ballroom, or at the highest balcony, sorry, overlooking the ballroom, you can see the Lord's table, elegantly adorned for the Venture family and their esteemed guests. Currently, though, the tables are empty. As you enter the ballroom, music swelling and crescendoing and fading, providing a bit of ambiance to the evening, as you see already a substantial, nearly 100 attendees to the evening, currently gathering and conversing as the festivities begin. A couple of notable people that I will go ahead and point out that Hadzel, given your history, your proclivity towards house ancestry and the noble families, you would be able to identify on sight. First, and obviously foremost of the evening, near the center of the ballroom with a large crowd, essentially, of some might say sycophants, trying to get in a bit of conversation. You see Lady Josephine Venture wearing a red and gold gown, billowing down to the floor, standing tall, almost like a half head above many of the courtiers that are currently attending the ball, with dark black hair pinned up on her head with golden pins. She looks detached and very stoic as a sort of fixture among this crowd. She is, of course, being surrounded by many other nobles looking to have her ear in conversation. However, close to her, you see her sons and the heirs of potential heirs of House Venture, her twin sons, Lord Antony and Oliver Venture. The Venture family converses, obviously the center of attention. You also catch a few others attending the ball. Lord Hubert Urbane, the first son of House Urbane, is present, currently in conversation with one Lady Renee Chevalier. the first daughter of House Chevalier. A couple of other people to note: Lady Julia Erikel, second daughter of House Erikel, in a small crowd that also contains one of the other heirs to one of the noble houses, Lady Monique Buvidas, who's the third daughter of her house. Many others that you would recognize are in attendance within the ballroom, though these are maybe some of the names that you give to Violette and the others as you enter to clue them into some of the important people that are present. God damn, I should have read the chat. You also notice several obligators, of course, present in the ballroom, engaged in these conversations as well. What would you like to do?
ZaKeer offers his arm to Lady Violette and will lead her towards a table. Still as ostentatious as always, House Venture.
I like it.
Must be a pain in the, excuse my language, ass to clean.
I imagine so.
Now, how should I play this? Should I be the wide-eyed country bumpkin noble that is impressed with everything, or should I be more of the stoic, silent type?
Well, the first one is probably what they're expecting. So I say do the other one.
Will do.
As you move to the tables and find yourself a spot to sort of gather, sit, converse, if you wish. Sasha also kind of looking around a bit apprehensively, maybe being back in noble society, and see some of like the conversation, like the crowds like near this way, and says, "What I am seeing is that there are lots of people here that I might recognize or might recognize me. Perhaps I will move over to a less crowded area of the evening. Just wave violently if you need me. I will be over there."
Alright.
I worry about him sometimes.
Me too.
As long as he does not begin any fights, it should be okay.
Well, as long as he is not in competition with anyone for a bathrobe, I'm sure we will be fine.
Sasha goes and engages in conversation with a crowd of people that he does not personally know. He does have the Playboy tag, so I'm assuming that he's a pretty good conversationalist.
Well, debatable.
He's been
It's
out of
debatable.
practice for a while, so give him a
So-
few burner conversations.
He
warm
goes
up.
to a small group of like 3 people and talks for a minute, and then they all kind of like move away. He stands there for a second, like looks back, and then goes to another group and goes to have conversations with them.
At this rate, he's going to run into someone he does know.
Goodness me. Well, I suppose I should mingle.
Yes, bit of conversation here and there before dinner, and then the dance.
Okay.
You are both apparently new attendees to the Luthadel courts. There will be many who will make overtures towards you both, though they will not be the perhaps most important houses to begin with. The courts will be attempting to feel you out, get a sense of you, though given all the rumors surrounding House Laurel, perhaps there will be more interest than we are expecting.
Right. Well, Hadzel, while you can, find out what you can from the servants.
Hadzel will bow and head towards the servants area.
Be careful.
You as well, mistress?
If anything, Hadzel is the very definition of competent.
I know.
By your leave, my lady.
Now I am debating waiting until someone approaches me.
Well, let's see what the night has in store for us then.
So, we can start this in a couple of other places. Hadzel, was there anything you want to do immediately, or
I mean, I do think it is going to be, he's going to spend a chunk of time, talking and listening to the other servants who will undoubtedly be gossiping. But this is also one of those areas that Brandon never gave us in the books because we never got Samson's perspective. Just mentioned he went off and talked to the servants.
Yeah, Brandon.
it's just a party back there. You get it's like they're all like playing beer pong, and
Caramel Danson is playing 3 rooms over.
We'll figure out what the stewards are like in or the servants are doing in the back rooms.
I do think the only thing I can really think of is like, if there are other terrace people and specifically any other keepers at the party, they do kind of give Hadzel side eye, given his kind of status as a bad boy among the keepers.
I forgot about it. Yeah, we are going to get into that because there are other terrace stewards that are present.
Mm-hmm.
Whether there are other keepers there, I don't think there would be. I think keepers are pretty spread out.
Yeah.
I don't know if there would be multiple keepers in Luthadel.
So in that case, the other terrace stewards are probably just like, yes, a fellow terrace steward, hello. But anyone who is in the know is like, So at least that's how I've been imagining Hadzel's status.
Okay. All right, let's we'll start in the ballroom and we'll get to the others. So after waiting for a few scant moments, you see a small group approach your table. 2 noblemen and a noblewoman. One of the noblemen steps forward and says, "Good evening. I am afraid that I haven't seen you at one of our events here before. May I introduce myself? I'm Lord Simone Dupay. These are my associates. This is Lady Lisa Labas and Lord, I don't have a third name, Ombre Sharp."
I was trying to write down that third name and I have no fucking clue.
Ombre, A-M-B-R-E, Sharp, S-H-A-R-P.
See, I wrote it down as Ombre Sharp, like Sharp Man.
Sharp Man.
See, I was this close to writing down ombre, like that's one tough ombre. Got him.
I need to write down these names before I forget them, though. Hold on.
Bonjour. Lady Violette Laurent.
Lord Orlin Glynn.
You see his eyes sort of alight at your name, Violette. Less attention paid to ZaKeer. He says, Lady Violette, we have heard much about you. Already at your short time in the city, you're making quite a name for yourself.
Good things, I hope.
Oh, only the best, of course.
That is good to know.
And this is your escort for this evening?
Yes.
Lord, I'm only pausing. Lord Glim. I'm only pausing because I did not remember the name. The narrator.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, we wish not to intrude, but considering I believe this is your first ball that I'm aware of you attending, if you would wish to join us in our conversation, you are more than welcome to.
It is. Yes. That sounds lovely. I have, unfortunately, been up to much family business and have not had time to make friends in the city.
Well, if if these seats are not taken at your table, we will join you and we can converse for the evening.
Please.
They move to sit at your table, motioning to some of the servants on the wings of the ballroom to approach, and they pour glasses of wine for each of you. And Lady LeBoss says, how long have you been in Lutherdale, darling?
Only a few months.
And how do you find our city?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. It's very different from where I come from.
Well, you flatter us for sure, but I can imagine the countryside holds some amount of charm that stuffy and sometimes overcrowded accommodations here might lack.
It has its merits, yes. The fresh air is easier to come by. But there is very little that beats the city skyline.
And you, Lord Glim, how do you find yourself within Lutherdale?
Oh, I was a childhood friend of Lady Violette before I moved to Uteu. My family owns a small plantation outside of the city.
Ah, plantation. Dreadful business, that.
Yes, well, as they say, it's a thankless job, but someone has to do it.
Well, it's good to see that you could offer your family here some comfort of seeing what life is like in Lutherdale and away from the drudgery of farm life.
It is quite immaculate, this place. This hall is probably as big as the house.
I can only imagine. So I think the conversation mostly continues like that, and pleasant or not so pleasant small talk. If there's anything you want to try to accomplish in speaking with these lovely people.
Is there a way for me to try and see if they have any unwarranted metal on them, if they are some sort of misting? Like, I hear the jingle of some boxes or whatever.
You can try to see if you can gather anything without, unless ZaKeer is holding a very large magnet, might be kind of difficult. But yeah, we can attempt that. This would probably be a roll with wits.
Okay.
Could
I add another dice for my hawk-eyed observer trait?
Yes. Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay, that's another 6. And I'm just taking my entire dice pool and rolling it, right? For this check?
Yeah. There's no defense associated with this. This is...
Fuck, pair of 5 and 4 6s.
I want to know everything about him. I want to know his name. I want to know his address. I want to know his social security number. I want to know how much money is in a bank account.
That is literally the best you could have rolled with this pool of dice.
Holy crap.
ZaKeer is good at his job.
You could not roll. You could not have rolled better. So that is a pair of 5s, which is the highest result that you can have in 4 nudges. So
so much.
Yeah, what do you want to know about them?
Like, ZaKeer is basically keeping an eye out for anyone of note looking Violette's way. So it could be like, I don't know, someone in a dark corner, just like their ears pressed close to it using, I don't know, tin or something.
Yeah. So you won't be able to pick up. I'm not going to give you so much that you're able to become a seeker and sense allomancy. Though you're pretty close. Maybe one more nudge, and I might have allowed that. As you are the first conjurer to snap into a misting. What I will give you though is you have a fairly easy time reading these 3. The difficulty of talking to them, I was going to make very little. Like they are very low standing nobility. Clearly have heard something about Violette or House Laurent, probably specifically, and wanted to get in on the gossip and see if they could see what's going on. So they're taking advantage of a situation and just trying to get any information they can out of Violette about her house. So none of them seem to be threats, and you don't see any metal on them. You see some metal painted buttons and jewelry, but nothing that would signify them as a threat or a misting in any sense. However, you do take this moment while you're having this conversation to sort of scan the ballroom, and I'll let you notice 2 things with your 4 nudges.
I'm not rolling again tonight. This is it.
Yeah, it's just downhill from here. You cannot roll better than that. So buckle up. Yeah, you notice a few things. 2 people in specific seem to take a fair bit of attention towards your table. One of them appears to be Lady Julia Erikel. She seems to be looking over in this direction fairly frequently, though she is engaged in conversation a fair ways away. You have noticed her turn her head over towards this table a few times. So that's the first one. The other that you notice, though you didn't when you first entered the ballroom and was not immediately noticed by you or Hadzel, and in fact, like, you just had very little interest in like even looking in their direction. But you catch this person's eye as they kind of move from a conversation and they sort of glance in your direction. You see an obligator who looks familiar.
I imagine ZaKeer is mid-joke when he catches the obligator's eye. And I said to them, "That's no Miss Wraith, that's my mother."
Oh, you are a treat, my man. Please tell us another. Tell us another.
He'll turn to Olivia and kind of, one moment. My dear, there seems to be, you remember the guest you had the other day? Well,
Yes, I remember.
well, I spotted them across the room. Maybe at some point we should thank them for the gift they left.
That is an excellent idea.
ZaKeer goes on to tell another joke.
They can probably hear the gears turning.
Okay. You continue to engage in conversation, keeping an eye on the obligator Cedric across the room, who doesn't make any advances towards your table, just continues in his duties, gauging in conversation. Occasionally, you see one of the nobles hand him like a small pouch of coins or something to overhear or to witness a contract or an agreement. Otherwise, just engaging in normal obligator duties amongst the nobility. Hadzel, you move to the back rooms, just off the kitchens. There's a small chamber, and when I say small, still the size of most of a fairly grand dining hall, but much more understated for the keepers, for the stewards and servants that find themselves here. Not ornately decorated. A few simple tables gathered around for you to sit comfortably and have your evening's meal at when the time comes. There aren't many servants back here currently, as many are still attending to their masters in the ballroom, and have not retired back here for their meal yet, as it is not time for dinner. But there are a few. I'll say there's one other terrace steward that is having a pleasant conversation with some of the kitchen staff. And they are a fair bit older than you are, with grayed hair, sort of receding hairlines, and they are dressed in the venture colors. They appear to be one of the venture stewards, and there are a couple of other servants that are also gathered here as well, having a conversation. Is there anything you'd like to do?
For now, just going to, kind of enter, look like getting the lay of the land, but clearly paying more attention to the conversation that the venture steward is having, trying to see if there's anything of note to pick up there, or if it's just regular running the house business.
Yeah, I'll let you see what you can pick up here. This might be our first opportunity to overhear a rumor. Why don't we go ahead and roll? Well, actually, I think this would be a good opportunity for me to give out the one free rumor that I was going to give for the evening before we get into the ones that you have to roll for. You overhear the steward having a conversation with the kitchen staff, and then turns to I think, how would this happen? I think they're having their conversation with the kitchen staff for a moment, and there's another figure enters the room, and you see one of the also wearing the garments of House Venture, probably a higher ranking attendant or employee of the house, kind of motions towards the steward, who gives a bow and kind of approaches them deferentially. Sorry, I'm finding a name right here. Theo, a moment, please. I'll walk over. Yes, my lord. It appears that we have some business for you to keep an eye out for tonight. Please inform the guard that there is no reason for alarm, but to potentially be aware of any disagreements or other disruptions to the evening. The matter that we spoke of before, the country girl, is present. The lady would wish for you to keep an eye on her. Of course, my lord. Yes. Right away. He continues. The man standing there continues and says, "We've been apprised through recent conversations that we believe that their home, or this house, has a very sizable store of wealth and atium they have acquired somewhere along the way. We can only assume it's from rather disreputable means, so we wish to make sure they do not make some sort of move on our own holdings, of course." "Yes, absolutely, my lord. I will have several people keep an eye on them." "Thank you. That is all. You may continue with your duties." This person turns to leave.
Just to clarify, it was the new attendant talking to the terrace steward.
Yeah, this again, they didn't sort of hold themselves as like a servant. They're probably some sort of like, I was trying to say, like administrator of the venture house and holdings, holding probably a higher rank than the steward of the house. They were the one giving that information to Theo, who you have identified as the name of the terrace steward.
Okay. And so Theo is now presumably going to find people to keep an eye on Violette.
Yes.
No, going to keep an eye more so on Theo. Well, yeah, because it wouldn't make too much sense for Hadzel to immediately leave this room. So mostly gonna watch and see what happens, see who Theo talks to, delegates to, and if that attendant sticks around or heads off to do something else.
Yeah, they, after they gave this assignment or spoke with Theo, they immediately left the room again. Theo bows as this administrator leaves, and moves back over to where the other servants are gathered. Seeing you along the way, sort of gives a polite nod in your direction. Doesn't stop to make conversation though, as they move back over to has a brief conversation with some of the kitchen staff, and then I think after having a conversation with them, kind of looks around the room, and then I think Theo goes to leave as well.
Okay. Maybe gonna sneeze. No, okay. So I think once Theo leaves, we'll try and head back out to the ballroom, briefly inform Violette and ZaKeer of what has been discovered, and then not go immediately back to the servants' room, but go to like try and find an alternate path to whatever hallway the administrator went through, and kind of see what's in that way, and basically do a little bit of exploring before presumably being told like, "Hey, you missed the servants' room, it's that way."
Okay, so trying to follow out the direction that this administrator left. All right. Okay. So you leave to follow in their direction. Winding through the, I think you can hear some like footsteps retreating in the distance, and you in this corridor that eventually widens out in some of the more expansive central walkways of the inner keep, away from where the party is taking place, and you try to quietly follow in their direction, and you see this administrator, or kind of hug, or like moves, is moving ahead of you but at a slower speed. So as you catch up to them, kind of looking around the corner, you see them ascending a staircase to one of the upper levels of the keep, at which point you can see them go along a walkway. There's a door that they knock on and then enter.
Just make note of that door, and then I think we'll probably go back to the servants' room. I don't know if the servants' meal is being prepared or served just yet, but spend more time there and just mingle with the servants who are coming and going from there.
Yeah, more seem to be filing in as more people arrive at the party. So there's a smaller crowd that is available for you to converse with. We'll come back to that in a bit. I want to go back to Mouse outside.
Yes.
Mouse, what are you doing?
Okay. I'm like trying to decide if it's like if there's like any sort of has there been like amongst the staff, has there been like anybody else that I've sort of like recognized as sort of like potential like other like informants, or just like anybody that I've like known amongst like the staff that I've seen so far? I mean, I guess I'm still outside, so I guess it's just like the people with the carriages and stuff, but
Yeah, it'd be the other drivers, some of
the other
the guard outside the building, on their patrols, like along the walkways or stations outside the keep. I'm trying to think who else would be out there that you would know.
it's fine
I
if
would,
it's not.
yeah, I would say no, not necessarily anyone that you would know here at this time.
Okay. Mouse, trying to sneak in, I guess, if there's like a side, like if I can identify sort of like a sort of side entrance for the servants, and kind of, well, I guess she doesn't have to sneak because she's got the outfit that we procured already.
Yeah, well, that's the question. So are you gonna try to like change into that next to the carriage and then move inside?
Yeah, maybe just like slip into the carriage and do a little switcheroo. Hope nobody notices, and then yeah, come out in the venture servant outfit, and then once I've sort of like identified like, okay, that's the door I need to head for, and kind of try to confidently walk that way like I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, you can pretty easily identify one of the side entrances into the home. Or into the keep. There are multiple, so it's not. There are a few that you could go through, but you see some of the other. Maybe somebody steps out for a moment to like one of the kitchen staff, tossing some of the waste outside, and then heading back in, and you kind of lock onto that door, go and follow inside. Are you do want so you're trying to be sneaky, avoid people seeing you, or
Not particularly, like still trying to like not necessarily be like noticed, but like not actively trying to hide. But I did have a question for like the friends at the table. Are we still trying to like play off that Vila is not a Mistborn? Are we still trying to keep that under wraps, or is that kind of the cat's out of the bag? I kind of remember where we landed with that.
I think if we can keep it under wraps, then we should try.
Yeah, as
Okay.
far as y'all know, it's still a secret
Mhm.
that she is a Mistborn. She hasn't necessarily revealed her identity to anyone except for the obligator at this point.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I think at one point we like talked about like maybe doing like spreading a rumor of our own to kind of like
I feel like
detract the spotlight from her somehow, but I don't remember what we had decided on if we had.
at least somewhere in there, I think maybe it was in the confrontation with Sting. It was like, well, okay, now word's going to get around that House Laurent has a Mistborn, but not necessarily that it is Violette.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm wondering if it would be. I mean, I know we can find rumors, but could I place a rumor potentially amongst like some of the staff and like um something along the lines of like kind of trying to draw like, oh, it's like the Mistborn is so and so, not Violette. I know it's not very specific, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, something about like, well, I heard that this person is
Yeah, and it
doing.
was like somebody else, and they saw it, and like I heard from my cousin, and like kind of like spread something like that
Yeah,
among some of the staff since I've got like an outfit and can like blend
yeah.
in with staff potentially.
So here's what I was thinking. As you go through the doors, and kind of this like servants corridor that is off from some of the main corridors, so that the nobles don't have to see the servants walking around in the main house.
Yeah, that'd be worse.
That'd be just terrible.
Terrible.
You're confronted, like you almost bump into another one of the servants who stops a sort of middle-aged woman that is also dressed in the same attire as you, maybe a little bit kind of a little bit finer pressed and like a little bit more like regimented in her posture. And she sees you. She says, "What are you doing here, girl?"
Oh, I mean, I had to take something out to one of the carriages, but
Everyone is supposed to be at the ballroom right now. We're supposed to be preparing for the meal. Come on.
right. Sorry. Gonna go prepare some food, I guess.
Sort of drags you by the ear back to the kitchens.
I'm having trouble. Not being where I should have been. But yeah, it would definitely be like. Okay, because balls are like several hours long, right?
Oh yeah, you got plenty of time.
Okay. Because I'm just trying to decide if she would start burning tin yet. Probably not yet. So not actively burning tin.
I will point out that Hadzel did specifically warn you against burning tin while at
I know,
the thing.
but like she's
We
still
know,
like.
but do we care? Is the question.
Well, she does care, but it's just like I
Mouse
feel like
lives on
that
the
would be
edge.
no. Well, if she gets back into her corner, that's what she's gonna like.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well,
could
yeah. And again, here's the thing: is that the burning of tin would be danger. It might alert you if there is a seeker nearby. You don't know if there's a seeker nearby or a Mistborn. Well, you know there's one Mistborn or
Yeah.
two. Yours and well, I guess Mouse doesn't know that the obligator is here. But even still, with all of that, like there's limits to the range and how far they can sense you away from, and how they would be able to pinpoint you. So you could probably get away with a little bit of it.
Yeah, if she had to, but
Yeah, and that's even if anybody's even looking out for you, which there might be no one.
yeah.
Maybe it'll just depend on how bad you roll.
Yeah. It's true. Suddenly somebody's like, wait.
Well,
That's the
RJ
perfect
took
thing for,
literally all the 5s and 6s, so
Yeah, that's true. I'm just gonna
It's a
roll
good. That is the sort of thing that I
terribly.
might introduce with like complications on a roll. If you fail and I get some complications to add, that might be something that comes up.
Okay,
So,
I like that.
so as long as you roll, you might be fine. So you're dragged back to the kitchen and begin to like kind of pushed into preparing food. You're not actually on like the chefs or like the actual preparing the meal, or like the more esteemed gourmands of the
You're just
the
like
house.
laying out plates and kind of wiping up spills and
Yeah, things like that. But so you take some time to like. I wanna have you. I want to hear you say, and then we're gonna prepare
Oh, dear.
and then we're gonna actually do the roll.
Here, okay, the rumor that I'm trying to spread.
Yes.
Okay, shoot.
So you're there with a couple other servants who are like talking and
I'm just like
conversing as
trying
they're
to think how it would like
cleaning
come
plates.
up or whatever.
Well, I think they're throwing around things too. It's like, did you see? It's like, did you see the dress that Lady Josephine was wearing? Yes, I did.
Okay,
It's
so there's
quite
like
lovely.
active
And sort of-
gossiping and stuff happening.
yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, Mouse would have something along the lines of like, I saw that new house is here at the party, and I heard from my cousin that they might have like, somebody, like a Mistborn.
Oh, really?
Which is weird, right? Because they're just like from out of town. Like that seems like maybe there's some sort of allies going on already. Some secret dealings under the table.
One of the servants says, like, I don't believe in stuff like that. That's a bunch of nonsense to me.
You'd be surprised. As someone who like just found out that like like ZaKeer is a thing,
Yeah.
is still kind of dealing with that. I don't know. All I'm trying to say is that I think we should watch out for this new house because there might be some new job opportunities.
Wait, one of the others like, which house is that?
What's Violette's house again? I forget. My brain.
Laurel.
Laurent! Yes, it's French. House Laurent.
Right. I haven't
They're
heard of
making
them
some
before.
moves and some plays. I mean, they're new.
They begin to like converse and kind of talk and begin to like ever ask questions about your cousin and all that.
Yeah. We saw somebody just like flying over buildings, like it was wild.
Go ahead and roll. We're gonna roll to spread this rumor. I'm trying to figure out how this is gonna take attention off of Violette.
Yeah, we'll just yeah, that's a good point.
But we're doing it.
We're doing it.
It's gonna
Just
be
pretend that I
charm.
said better things than what I actually said. Okay, charm. Ooh, I have a lot in that.
It's gonna be fine because Violette is absolutely playing up the like dumb, like I just got here. I don't know. This place is so pretty, even though there's like literal ash falling from the sky every day. Are you kidding? It's a city. I don't even know what those are.
What is that even? Okay. All right, so then I'm trying to see if any of my traits would apply for this. I guess like informant in the like idea of like being able to like
This is sort
planting
of
and sniffing out. Yeah, it's like what I do. So I could add another one for that.
Yes, you
So
can.
that brings me to 6.
Nice. No burdens or anything right now.
No, I do not have any burdens right now.
Okay, and I don't think you have any. You don't have any circumstances necessarily working against you currently, or not enough to take away. The only one I can think of is that you haven't been here for very long. You're just
so they're like,
new.
who are you?
Yeah, but there are probably so many servants that come and go that I doubt they really question that much.
Yeah.
So, all right, go and roll your 6 dice.
All right, let's go. Pair. Wait, I got 3 2s. So pair of 2s and a 6. That's one edge.
All right. Yeah, I'd say that's enough. You weren't dropping anything too outrageous with this, given that there are already rumors circulating along the same line. I think this is reasonable.
Okay.
Did you get any nudges too?
I did. Yeah, I got one nudge.
Okay. I will say with that nudge that let's see. I'll say you also get so one of the other servants, not wanting to be like outdone as you're giving this rumor and kind of captivating some of the attention, says,
Uh-huh. Bless you.
they sneeze and then they get beaten because they sneeze on the food. I'm just kidding.
And then when they come back with a black eye, they say,
Yeah. Sarah's shaking her head disapprovingly at me.
Terrible.
It is
You
terrible.
could have made this
It's
a
terrible.
nice place to work, but you didn't.
We didn't. It's not a nice place. Fuck the man. Fight the system.
Yeah. Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
That's the problem, is that they sneezed on the food, but it is so hard to kill the rich to actually get them to cook them for dinner. So
Yeah.
I mean, when you say eat
Absolutely.
the rich, that's the plan for ZaKeer.
yeah, right. That's like his goal. Eat them.
One of the other ones says, well, I heard something even better. I heard that the Lord, what's his name? Lord Urbane. I heard
Yeah.
that he's trying to court Lady Renee.
No.
A few of them laugh when they say that. He says that and kind of begins into their conversation amongst them. Some of the attention shifts back to more to other gossip. But you get that other bit of you get that other rumor.
Pin that.
Lord Lady Renee Chevalier.
Okay. They might be courting. Okay.
All right. So while we go back to the ballroom, I think this is a good time to take our break. Maybe is there anything anybody wants to do pre-dinner, or should we go ahead and move to the actual meal conversations? Or no, you wanted to. Violette and ZaKeer wanted to go and talk with their visitor, right?
yeah, let's do that before dinner so it doesn't interfere with my dancing later.
Ah.
Because I've got some
Gotta plan this
plans
out.
for that.
Ooh. Really?
All right. I keep making the mistake of looking at chat and this conversation that's going on right
We've
now.
invented a new game.
Yeah, new game. All right, we're gonna go and take our break, everyone. We'll come back for more intrigue when we return. So everyone, stick with us for a bit. We'll be back really soon. Take a break, stretch, drink some water, and we'll see everyone in a minute. Stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out with us. We took our break. We're going to play some more Mistborn. So let's just jump back right back into it. Currently sitting in the adventure ballroom, Violette and ZaKeer masquerading as Lord. I have the name here and I've lost it.
Orlin Greymane.
Orlin
Glim.
Glim.
Put a gray maid in here.
Are having a.
This is a Battleborn dinner. Sorry.
Timely references as always.
It is because they're releasing another one.
All right.
All right, everybody. I'm RJ. You can catch me RJ.
They're doing another Skyrim.
All right. Can we get on topic, please? You are having a pleasant evening, or mildly pleasant conversation with three nobles that have sat at your table and having a nice been trying to get some information out of you for their own means. You've noticed obligator Cedric across the hall. What do you want to do?
Sorry, it's
playing
time.
those maracas.
It's time for our cats to eat.
Why is that going off right now? It's
Because
not
you
supposed to go
haven't
off till, like,
reset it
11.
since the power went out.
I did reset it. Okay.
Anyway.
Everything is. That's our stream for tonight, everyone. We'll be back in 2 weeks for our next session.
Will
Because this
we?
has gone so far off the rails.
Shit, I want to go talk to this guy now.
Do we want to? I kind of want to give him a little sting though. Just walk past. Excuse me, Sir Obligator. I wish to form a contract with Lady Violette here that I won't intrude on her grounds unsolicited. Then walk away.
Ah! I want to talk to him. Because we have the opportunity and I want to talk to him in a setting where he can't, like, have a meltdown. Let's do both. Let's use that to get him away from everyone else. Because that's too funny not to do.
Okay. So is ZaKeer the one that's going to approach for this?
Yeah. Excuse me, Sir Obligator. I wish to form a contract with someone.
You see, he's like in the middle of a smaller group here, just finishing a conversation. He turns back to you, and you see again a younger man, probably in his early 20s, underneath the obligator tattoos. Fairly attractive features, and he has a very kind of disarming smile. Flashes across his face as he turns to look at you, and he says, "Yes, my lord. One moment, please." He turns to the other to the group he's with. "If you would excuse me, I have some business to take care of." And the nobles that are in the group say, "Of course, but please return if you wish to converse further. It's a pleasure speaking with you again, Cedric." And he gives a nod and turns back to you. "My lord, I'm afraid I'm not familiar with you. Your name, please. I'm Obligator Cedric."
Lord Orlan Glynn. Pleasure.
"Likewise. You have a contract you'd like me to witness or dispute?"
Please, if you will. And he'll lead him back to Violette's table.
He approaches, not breaking stride, as he sees the table you're walking towards.
I have two
Yes,
questions.
Yes.
Because my player knowledge is getting muddled with my character knowledge. Do we know this guy's name?
Yes.
Because we all know that it is
Because Hadzel was
Cedric,
able to...
like, fifth son of whoever.
Yes.
Okay. I have another question about how a metal works because I can't remember.
Mhm.
If you're burning copper, that's the one that masks
Other metals, yes.
allomancy, right? Is
It also makes you
is that
immune.
detectable?
No, burning a copper cloud would not be detectable unless somebody was already... The only time somebody would know that you were burning copper is if they were already sensing allomancy from you, or they were sensing something and it just like cuts.
Okay, and then it just cuts off. Okay.
That might be one way they might suspect that copper was being burned. There are things in the book that leads to people being able to know if you're burning copper. We're not getting into that for this
Great,
for this
love
game.
that.
Yeah, copper also makes you immune to emotional allomancy.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. This is also me double checking how long I can burn copper for. 40 minutes. Great. Violette's burning copper.
Okay.
Also,
burns pretty slow.
for the table, is it just Violette, or is that noble crowd still around?
They're still around unless you've dismissed them. They were planning on eating with you.
Okay. All right, Violette. I promise. Sorry, go ahead.
So he approaches the table as you begin. He says, "Oh, please, I don't believe we've met. Obligator Cedric, your Lady Violette Laurent. Am I not mistaken?"
Oui, I am.
"A pleasure. looks to the others at the table as well, and says, Lord Dupé and Lord Sharp. Oh, and of course, Lady Labas. It's a pleasure to see you again, of course. And they all kind of take on like a more rigid posture as an obligator is now present in their midst, and they all give polite greetings as well. And he turns to you. Apologies for the interruption, Lord Klim. The matter of this business you wish to discuss.
It's just a paltry affair. He'll cross his arms and kind of give like this sort of dour expression. Well, I know you hate surprises, Violette, so I promise not to drop by your estate unannounced ever again.
Really, this is too much, but a very kind gesture on your part.
I witness this exchange.
ZaKeer hands him a pouch full of boxings.
Takes that, tucks it into his robe. Is that it for the evening?
Oh, Obligator, Cedric? Yes?
Yes.
Later in the evening, I might have some other business to attend to. So, if you wouldn't mind seeing a friendly face later on, I may call on you again.
Of course. I would be pleased to have further conversations with you, Lady Laurent, especially since you are new to our city. It would be beneficial for you to me to acquaint myself as a member of the ministry. We can speak more later. I do enjoy witnessing the night's events from some of the upper balconies. Perhaps you can find me up there when the time is right for you.
That sounds absolutely wonderful.
Well, I will excuse myself from your company if there's nothing further.
No, you are excused.
Gives a bow and heads back to the crowds.
You know, out in the country, we did not obviously encounter obligators and the like very often. I was always told they were frightening. But he was perfectly pleasant.
Lord Simone, or Lord Dupuy, says, "Oh, the obligators, they're nothing to be frightened about, really. It's... unless you're up to anything illicit, of course."
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yes, I can only imagine what sort of rumors the ministry acquires out further away from the central hub of their power. You'll find most of them are quite accommodating, like Cedric. He's quite a charming man.
Seems so. So do they often deal in rumors? I would imagine not. I imagine they have to be very professional.
Oh, I wouldn't wish to besmirch the integrity of the ministry, of course, but they might have their dealing in rumors and gossip occasionally. But mostly they sort out our business and financial means and matters.
What a tiring business it is. It is good you have them here.
I can only imagine. It's a shame, really. Cedric was, what I heard, quite promising. I don't know what possessed the lad to swear to the ministry, really.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, and Lisa says, "Oh, stop it. He just found his calling serving the Lord Ruler." Cedric is actually one of the few heirs to House Ilario. He gave up his holdings to join the ministry.
Really?
Fifth son, though, didn't have much to, I suppose, gain by staying in the service of his family. So, And Ombre chimes in and says, well, even still, he's fairly formidable as a businessman, from what I heard. Probably could have climbed despite his station, I suppose.
So, despite all that, he left?
Simone chimes back in. Yes, one day the boy just... We received rumors that he no longer attended the balls, and we heard that he was joining the ministry. I don't really know much of the details, to be honest. The Ilariel house has been quite tight-lipped on the reasoning.
Well, if they are not sharing it, then I don't imagine he was always, very religious.
They all three kind of laugh a little, and Lisa says, oh, well, as faithful as the rest of us are. Bless the Lord Ruler and all that. But no, nothing that out of the ordinary, of course.
Of course.
They all three kind of return to their pleasant conversations and other subjects, unless you press further on that.
I think Violette kind of thinks about it for a second. And then if given the opportunity, sort of before the conversation completely dies, just kind of says, well, I suppose that wasn't easy for his family. Having a noble son go and join the Obligators.
One of them, or I guess Simone, thinks on that for a moment and says, well, I suppose there's certain advantages to it. His father, Lord Raoul, has always maintained a very healthy relationship with the ministry. So I imagine it was to solidify those ties, potentially. Could have been beneficial to them. They always seem to get fairly good contracts from the obligators.
Really?
Yes. I think most of the rumors is that it was to continue this relationship. Sort of a ward of sorts, I suppose.
Different sort of marriage of obligation?
Quite. Even still, it's a shame. Lord Cedric always was very popular around here at these matters.
So one day he just stopped showing?
Well, until he came back looking as he does now.
It's fascinating. It just strikes me as something, you think you would know about the person. If they wanted to pursue that kind of career. Doesn't seem like it would come as a surprise.
Lisa kind of leans in. She says, you'll find that there are many aspects to our private lives that we tend to keep to ourselves here in Lutherdale. I'm sure things are different out in the country.
I suppose that's why you call them private.
Yes, exactly. We all have our secrets, of course. Respectfully.
Of course.
We can share more later.
Perhaps I should get some secrets.
Oh, I'm sure that you have plenty that we could discuss.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come, please. I'm sure you had all sorts of exciting things out in the country, or new dalliances as you come into Lutherdale, trying to make new acquaintances. Nothing of the sort, really?
Nothing scandalous. So I suppose I wouldn't mind gaining a couple.
Well, there are certainly many people that I could introduce you to if you're looking to make new friends that way.
Really?
Of course.
You do strike me as very well connected.
Oh, I know everyone around here.
I suppose we'll have to see.
Yes, we should. But please, you'll have to tell me more. And she begins to ask more about your life on the out in the country. All right. Anything more before dinner?
If there's a pause in the conversation, ZaKeer will lean over to Violette. Speaking of secrets, I believe you have a secret admirer. And he'll point out well, he won't point out, but he'll give the name of the noble that was looking over this way. Like, head empty. I've
So
forgotten.
Like,
Julia Erikel?
Yes. Second daughter of House Erikel.
Uh-huh. Oh, I wish Hadzel was here. So many names.
He'll be back shortly.
Is it uncouth to approach?
Not uncouth, but a little rare given your standing.
Perhaps this is a good thing. Country girl doesn't know she shouldn't.
Would you like me to attend to you?
Yes, probably.
It'd be best after dinner, right before the dance, then?
Alright. Starving.
Well, perhaps right on cue then. Chimes sound and the serving staff begins to file out from the kitchens, bringing the plates of food to the tables. Starting first with the Lord's table, where Lady Josephine and Lords Antony and Oliver retire up to their seats on the higher upper balconies. To have their meal with a few other select nobles. Everyone else retired to their tables to eat and converse. We could say too. So Mouse is among the serving staff.
I was gonna say, do I like come out with some plates?
You see Mouse come out with some plates among all of them. Hadzel, I think, would probably return at the beginning of the meal as well to make sure, I guess, as part of propriety, to check in on his charge. So if there's anything y'all want to share, conversations to have while this is happening.
Just checking in again, because Hadzel did briefly stop in earlier to say, like, hey, by the way, they've got people watching you. So just, is there anything that Mistress or Master requires me at this time?
Yes, I'd like to have a word with you about your behavior earlier.
Of course, Master.
Turns to the other nobles. Excuse me.
Excuse me, Mistress. My lords and ladies.
Kind of watches a bit awkwardly, and then they all three turn to Violette.
Apologies. He was acquired from another house when we came to the city and is still adjusting.
Simone says, that makes sense. And it's so hard to find good help these days.
Oh, isn't it? He's very good at what he does, but to keep him controlled, he wants to go everywhere, do everything, talk to everyone.
Lisa leans and she says, which house did he happen to come from? Just so we know not to acquire any servants from them.
Well, the house is now defunct. unfortunately.
Oh.
So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It was really coming from a good place in my uncle's heart to employ him at all.
Well, that's unfortunate, but those things happen around here, of course, though. I'm sure with the current position that your family has taken that you'll find nothing but success here in Lutherdale.
I hope so.
It's all about making the right friends.
It seems I am well on my way.
Well, you certainly are if you're at a table with me.
Which one of them just said that?
That was Lisa.
I'm putting the asterisk by her name.
And then a DTF question mark?
In the next conversation, there's an extra dialogue option, a little heart next to it.
Why is there a percentile?
Shit.
Okay, so ZaKeer leads Hadzel out from the main hall to a side, or out maybe to the corner of the hall, like behind one of the columns for a bit of privacy.
I think he might lead him a little bit further away, like ask a guard, excuse me, is there like a private place where I can teach this one some manners?
There are two ways that I would take that, and I'm not gonna go with the way.
And one of them has a law heart next to it.
And a percentile, what the fuck?
Hadzel is just completely stoic-faced, as if like, yes, this is my lot. Like I am just following my master's commands. You know, shows no sign of distress to the guard.
The guard pauses and motions and says, "Down the hall to the right, my lord."
Thank you. Come along.
Of course,
You,
master.
you leave Hadzel down the hall for some discipline.
It's just
Meanwhile,
Hadzel against the wall, hand slams next to his head, leans in real close. Our obligated friend is here. You should probably keep your head down.
noted. And I think I mentioned this last time, but we didn't actually talk about it this time. Hadzel's here in sort of a disguise. Like he's got like, a head wrap, scarf thing. He's wearing some spectacles. Still very much obviously a terrace steward of House Laurent, but
I
trying
suggested
to-
fake mustache, but I don't think that was
The
taken.
Groucho Marx glasses.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we ever get any terrace with facial hair in the books.
I think with the castration.
That's why he's the
and-
bad boy.
He can grow.
Yeah, he can grow a mustache. That's how you know he's the bad boy.
Oh, he chat
Like,
says the
whoa.
mustache drawn on the finger?
Oh,
Is that you, Hadzel? No.
No.
of course.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
Other than that, ZaKeer will update Hadzel on the goings on at the table. Paltry small talk, honestly.
It's to be expected. This is, after all, Mistress Violette's first ball attendance here in Lutherdale. She is not likely to have any actual engagement with the higher ranking nobles, but this is a good start and perhaps the foundation of a relationships to build upon.
Right. Well, she's going to need your guidance for the rest of the night because I do not know anything about noble etiquette. I said a joke about my mother being a miswraith, which is kind of true.
Yes, well, I'm sure the irony was lost on your table mates, but I'm sure it was quite amusing. But when we return, I will act appropriately chagrined, and then I will stick to Mistress Violette like glue, aside from when she is dancing.
All right. How you doing?
All right. Gonna briefly tell ZaKeer about seeing that administrator, go to that room upstairs, And, given what I know of noble households, could I make any kind of reasonable inference on what that room would have been, or what kind of rooms might be in that area of the house?
Yeah, so I'd say based on like the where you were located and its proximity to some of the servants' quarters, but also its distance from them or separation from them. Like I said, probably some sort of attendant for the house. So likely someone that deals with like handles like the administration of like the finances or the like the staffing, separate from like the steward of the house. So that would likely be the if that was their office, which you did see them knock when they approached, so it might not have been theirs, but that is likely somebody's study or office space.
It was only the second floor, which we've been told that Lady Josephine's study is on the third floor.
Yeah,
So
and this was a different
something's-
wing of the house. Yeah.
That's someone's study, but presumably not either the head lord or lady.
All right. Tempted to take a look around, but no. I'll let Mouse do that.
So I did spot her being press ganged into helping in the kitchens, but perhaps now that the dinner is done, or the meal is served, rather, she will be able to get away and do some exploring. Perhaps you might be able to provide some cover for her. It is at your discretion, of course.
I can think of a few things. All right.
And I will see if I can also briefly check in on Master Sacha, make sure he has not caused any problems thus far in the evening.
There is a blank look on ZaKeer's face. I totally forgot about him. Night's still young. Come along, Hadzel.
Ryan and I are going to do a special like one shot. It's just going to be whatever Sasha got up during during this period.
And Sacha pulls out a Molotov.
I would pay a not insignificant amount of money to watch that.
I too.
We're starting a
boy.
Patreon.
I don't know if I could deal with just undiluted Ryan chaos.
Straight Ryan.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You don't think you could do it? Because your Ryan impression sometimes makes me feel like Ryan is in the room.
But I will suffice it to say there's probably not a bathrobe in this house that has not been tried on by Sasha at this time. Okay. So, speaking of Mouse,
Yes.
assuming there's nothing else between ZaKeer and Hadzel. Oh. The two of you return to your duties. ZaKeer, you return to the table. Or do you?
ZaKeer returns back to the table, and he's going to wait for Mouse to pass by before he knocks the table with his leg to spill his wine on himself.
Oh, okay.
You gonna yell at another servant?
He's gonna be that guy.
Doing this bit twice in a row.
Sorry, my lord. Can I get some clean you up?
Yes, please, a towel.
Right. I think I saw some. Probably like it's like scrambles for a minute because it's like yeah, but finds something and like comes back and it's like While she's like sort of like trying to get rid of some of the wine, I guess. Did you do that on purpose? I didn't even touch you.
Yeah, I did. You
Man.
should have took more time coming back.
Very loudly. Well,
What?
I suppose even the Ventures have trouble finding good help these days. This is incredible. I never knew the city was like this.
Right, I'm
Super
gonna need
loud.
more towels, sir. I got it. I'll buy.
And Mouse goes scurrying off.
Hoping she's loud enough to disguise conversation. This is... I can't
Your,
make something so better than this.
Your co-diners at the table kind of blanch as you kind of exclaim out, like, the fuck is wrong with the Ventures?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Okay, shots fired.
I am debating.
Dare the twins to come say something to me.
Yeah, that's
What's going on here?
I was debating whether this would be. I think I want to make you roll for this performance,
Oh, yeah.
but I was debating whether it'd be charm or influence. I will say, if you want to spend some influence here, you could do
Okay.
that, or you can roll charm.
Well, I mean, my charm is better.
Okay, we'll just go with charm then. I don't think you're really spending influence in this trade. That might be kind of stretching the rules a
This
little bit.
country bumpkin. I'm gonna pull. So I've got 4 charm.
Oh.
I'm gonna pull my underestimated. It's not a tag in this game. I don't know what it's called. Trait
Yeah. Are the traits that we have?
Yes.
for this. To add a dice.
Okay.
Can I pull more than one trait? Yes. Okay. My brain just like
Yeah.
permanently exists in like fate.
Yeah.
rules.
No, you can apply more than one trait.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can keep
so-
like building your pool till you get to like 10, right? Is the limit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to also pull my provincial accent.
Okay. I'll allow that
to
here,
play
'cause that
off
kinda
of
makes you
my
stand.
absolute not knowing about how to behave.
I think that adds
Ah.
2 things. It makes you stand out a little bit more.
Mhm.
So it draws more attention to what you're saying.
Absolutely want that.
And then it adds to your naivete.
So I get 2 dice, right?
You get 2 additional dice for those. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think you have any tools here, unless you're burning some metals for
Well,
this.
that was-
But
I left that for last because I was debating. Because I'm burning copper right now.
yes.
Okay. So you got a cloud, so you could.
Mhm.
So you could secretly be burning something
Do
else. Yeah.
Do I riot this and like absolutely make a scene?
What's okay? So what? The goal is to bring attention to yourself, just in general, or like to facilitate the whatever ZaKeer
Both.
and I are trying to do. Okay.
Both.
Well,
I'm pulling up the metal thing because I want to check something.
Guess something to consider is like I don't know if there are rules for how big the copper cloud is, but whoever is inside it won't be affected by any rioting or soothing. And
Yeah, but
also,
I'm imagining that the people who I would want to notice, which are mostly the Ventures, are not anywhere near where Violette is sitting.
So
Sure.
the way that the game works is only the person burning the metal gets that's the benefit of the resistance to emotional allomancy, unless you take the stunt that extends that mental protection to other people.
Okay.
So again, that might be different than the source material, but that's the way that it works in the game, at least. So
Okay, here's what I want to do. Then I want to riot Gently.
Which I did just read. It's not immune. It's resistant to emotional allomancy in the game. So you have you're not necessarily immune to it. Sorry. Continue.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you're fine. So I want to just very gently riot my new friends
Very gently.
to back me up.
Okay. So like
gentle
riding
riot.
their feeling of like dissatisfaction
How dare.
or outrage.
A quiet ride, if you will.
A quiet.
Quiet.
Because yeah, straight up, Violette does not care about the reputations of these three people.
Oh.
Okay.
And I have a stunt for this if it gets nasty.
Good if you're nasty.
So I'm gonna do
go
it.
ahead. Yep.
And so I get 4 for medals. That's 10.
A full 10. Okay.
Nice.
Math.
All right, go and roll your 10
Good
dice.
luck. Watching her like absolute garbage after all that. Fucking
All ones.
posturing. All ones.
Some of them will have to be doubles with 10 dice. But yeah.
I've got a pair of 4s and 4 6s.
Oh. Well, okay.
I'm Lady Venture now.
This is my keep.
Okay.
Welcome to the Winter Palace. I've strewn a bunch of statues around that you can try to find to unlock doors. Sorry. I'm doing a Dragon Age bit that no one else is doing.
No, again, the pools tonight are from all over the place.
If this is not the fucking Winter Palace from Dragon Age Inquisition, then it is nothing.
Okay. All right.
The internet will back me up.
As this happens and Mouse goes running off in shame from the events, and ZaKeer is feigning outrage at what's happening, trying to clean himself off with this measly towel that Mouse has given him. Your other 3, who were at first kind of like taken aback by your posturing, suddenly became a little bit more brazen in it, and they say, as Simone says, yes, that is quite unacceptable from the staff, and to only provide such meager assistance there, we should definitely speak with somebody about this. And your hombre kind of follows suit and says, yes, we must find the steward immediately and let them know what should be done, and that this servant, wherever they have gone, should clearly be flogged for their behaviors tonight. And they begin to kind of chorus your prelude there, and as you are kind of carrying on, a few of the tables around you are kind of looking like, oh god, like you're yelling at the waiter at Applebee's right now.
Karen and the Pussycats over here.
Yeah. You look up, kind of glancing up out of the corner of your eye towards the Lord's table, and you can see that their attention has definitely been drawn down towards you. And while Lady Josephine doesn't move, you see her kind of turn her head towards one of her sons, and Lord, we'll go with Oliver Venture, gives a nod towards his mother, stands and excuses himself from the table, and within a few moments is approaching, hands clasped behind his back, and with a kind of a soft smile, and says, is everything all right?
My Lord Venture, I apologize for this scene reaching your ears. I meant to handle it myself.
Yes, well, you've made quite the commotion.
My apologies. I am not quite used to the way that voices carry in such a resplendent hall.
they do carry much farther than you might expect. He looks towards ZaKeer. My lord, are you all right?
I'm fine, but alas, my suit.
I will have one of the other servants escort you to where you can clean up, and I'll have a spare of mine brought down for you.
You are most kind.
Please. And he gestures to some of the serving staff and says, you escort Lord Glim to the powder room and retrieve one of my spare suits from my wardrobe. Looks at yours. The ash gray one. Yes. And they go to escort you out. ZaKeer.
And he gets up and leaves.
Lord Oliver turns back to you, Violette, and says, my lady, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
Violette Laurent.
Violette. I'm Oliver, or Oliver Venture. It's a pleasure to meet you. I hope you can enjoy the rest of your evening comfortably. If anything comes up, please let me know.
Well, I imagine now that dinner will be wonderful, and perhaps I will need something during the dancing later. If your dance card is not full.
He smiles, and you can hear, like, a few tables around that can overhear the conversation. The air kind of get, like, sucked out of the room a little bit as you are proposing to dance with perhaps the most eligible bachelor, 50% of the most eligible bachelor in the room. And he says, of course, my lady, it's the least that I can do, considering the events of the evening towards your escort. I'll come find you when the meal is over.
You are too kind.
He smiles and looks to the others. If you wouldn't mind me excusing myself, I should return to my mother for dinner. And he nods and leaves. And immediately after he goes, Lisa leans towards you and says, Did you just asked Lord Oliver Venture to dance?
Did I ask?
It seems that way, yes.
Oh. Perhaps I did. Should I not have?
I'm sure this will go wonderfully.
Well, make sure you have good seats then.
Yes, certainly. Yes. She kind of like leans back and kind of begins kind of pushing her food around with her fork as she's contemplating what just happened. ZaKeer, as you're being escorted out of the room by the staff, I think out of the corner of your eye, you catch a few people giving Violette some very strong looks. As it seems like this maybe has stirred up some drama in the courtroom.
Objection, Your Honor. Oh boy. Just gonna go get changed and then come back.
Okay. While this is happening, Mouse, you have...
I need to hurry.
You have left the hall.
Yes.
You need to hurry and possibly not come back.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so is gonna start heading up to the third floor. Because I probably noticed that like the Lady Venture was like there at the dinner. So it would
Yes.
probably not be in her office. So I was thinking this is the best time because Hadzel also said dinner's probably the best time. So I was gonna start heading upstairs to go find a ledger, I guess.
Okay. You I will say, is Mouse sneaking
Sneaking.
up there?
Probably. Yeah. I'm trying to be
Okay.
sneaky.
So let's go ahead and roll for that. See if you're able to avoid detection from the house guards. So this will be a contested roll
Okay. Oh, okay.
between you and the guards that
guards
are currently
looking for me?
patrolling the grounds.
Okay.
I don't think any of them are actively looking for you at this point, but that might change.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll see how this roll goes. Okay.
So this would be physique.
Physique. Okay. Oh, and I do have. Okay.
Double checking that. I think physique would be the closest towards like sneaking.
Sneaking. Okay.
Game. Can I find this in a timely way? Those are under attributes. I don't have the list of like which attributes necessarily connect with what right now, but let's see.
Oh, there is a list like that?
I think there is. They
Okay.
just say like this physique, physical fitness and speed, including strength, agility, and endurance. Yeah, this would be the physique would be your ability to like move quickly and quietly.
Quickly. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to like think if any of my stuff would like help with this. Because physique is not my best. Nope, not really. I don't think any of my.
I'd also, I'd give one other option here besides physique for accomplishing this task if you want to try this through a different text. So quickly, if you're less concerned, if you think Mouse would have more of a difficulty of just moving quickly and quietly, she'd also rely more on her maybe moving a bit slowly, relying on more of her ability, like her senses, to avoid routes that the guards might be taking. So we could maybe go with wits instead.
That feels better. That feels like more like. Yeah, she would like. Yeah, take things slow and kind of like, okay, they're past, like then go kind of, yeah, being slower.
Okay.
Versus just trying to like run up there.
This is also something you could rely on your tin for as well.
Okay.
If you wanted.
Okay. Not yet. But we'll see. All right. So that's
Okay.
still. I mean, like with my wits, it's 5. So it's a pretty good number. Okay. Her personality is like nervous. So like I said, she would just sort of like take it slow and be a little extra cautious. Potentially. Would that trait apply here?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love that pie.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with that. I've got 6.
Okay.
And I don't think any of the other stuff, my tool doesn't really apply here because I'm not like burning anything, and the other one doesn't really apply either. And circumstance, I don't have that. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to roll better than them, right?
Than them, yeah. So
Whatever
I'm
they're
pulling
gonna
up the guards. Let me. Gallery. It's got so many things here.
Okay. Because it's not like in the
Guards.
combat thing where I like hold dice back to like defend myself.
No.
It's not to that point
No.
yet. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So this will be
Hopefully it doesn't get that.
their wits, which is a 3. Oh no, wait, look at the wrong one. 4. And then they get the trait wary, which I'll let them apply here. So that'll be a 5.
Oh. Wary, that's a good word. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Ooh, a paraforce. And 2 nudges.
Pair of 2s.
Okay.
So you will win with
Okay.
2 nudges plus those, so with 4 nudges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I get 2 extra nudges because I'm 2 ahead of them.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
you
have
can
4 nudges.
you can use those to introduce a like a benefit to your roll or a complication against them or something. So, so I'll say as you kind of push into the house, moving towards the southern wing of the home, and ascending up to the 3rd floor. As you begin to move up the steps, you begin to hear some guards that are slowly, like 2 sets of footfalls coming down the stairwell in your direction, and use that moment to sort of duck off to the side as they descend past you. You kind of hide in the darkness of this alcove. Yeah, full on Kronk, just like hiding against the wall.
Can't see me.
And they move past you because you're not singing your own theme song.
No.
You take that lull to then move up the steps in the direction they just came from, winding down the hall, basically able to avoid maybe taking a more like circuitous route, ducking down a few extra hallways or into a small closet here and there to avoid the guards as they are kind of coming up. Even though you're not burning tin right now, I imagine Mouse's senses are still fairly acute and better than most. So you're able to avoid their detection. And there are, so you reach about the area of the house that you'd expect. There isn't like a sign on the door that says Lady Venture's study. But you're able to begin to move through, begin to check out some of these doors.
In, yeah.
I will say that you can use one of your nudges here to say that you get on the first try rather than have to go through a bunch of the check out a bunch of the doors.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like I could use a nudge. Yeah, so I want to find the room. So I'll put that off to the side. And just kind of like scope it out for a minute before like fully going in. Just
yeah, you push open the door and you enter a dimly lit study, only lit currently by the little bit of the residual light that's trailing in through the window in the back, coming from kind of the lights that are being kind of projected out almost from the keep. So the room itself doesn't have any lanterns burning, and obviously there's no starlight or moonlight to push in, only the curling of the mists outside past the window. There's a hearth on the right side of the room as you enter, with a rather ornate kind of design to it, carved into the stone, currently dim, and bookshelves lining most of the other interior walls. And the desk sits tucked into the corner on the left side of the room, where you can see some of Lady Josephine's effects currently neatly arranged atop it. Some other books stacked into piles around the desk as well. However, you catch a little bit of movement as you enter, as kind of stretching out and then curling back up onto the chair sitting by the fire, or the dead fireplace, is a white cat.
Kitty. Okay.
Sort of like stretches, opens an eye, like closes it, and kind of purrs softly, like curls up back in its back on the chair.
Just like scared me, cat. All right, let's find this. What is it again? A ledger. So I was gonna kind of start maybe like looking at the stuff like on the desktop first before starting to go through like drawers and things.
Sorry, again, I need to stop having the chat up when I'm running this game. 'cause
What is chat up to now? Ah! I see.
we're getting She-Ra up in here.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, so you're going to search the room for this ledger?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the stuff that's on the desk first and see,
Okay.
because Hadzel talked about business, and that seems like a good place to start before trying to go through all the books and things.
Okay. You look across the room and you're able to kind of scan it pretty quickly with your with your senses and kind of moving forward one of your nudges from before. You're able to go through the room pretty quickly, especially focusing on the desk and the books that are on it. You do find some like journals and things on there, but kind of flipping through them, they're all pretty. It mostly relates to like nothing related to like business dealings. It's mostly like logs of like house upkeep almost.
Okay.
Pay for the guards, staffing.
Yeah,
like that.
that's what what the lady would do. Okay. Guess I'm gonna start going through the desk.
Okay. Does I really want to make you do a new roll or use the nudges from before? I'll roll forward the nudges from before.
Okay.
You you search the desk for a bit, and just going through the drawers, you don't find much. However, Hadzel has kind of led you on to this before. You know that there are some nobles will keep things kind of hidden away in secret compartments. Probably went over that, and you're used to that with your life as a living on the streets as an informant. You tap on some of like the on some of the paneling for the desk, looking for any hollow spots, and eventually you knock on one area with your knuckle, and it sounds hollow, different than the rest of it. And you run your fingers over it, and you can sense just a slight crease along the woodwork. You press down against one of those creases, and the panel sort of pops, opening up. And as you pull this panel away, behind it are a small. There's a small satchel. I'm trying to think what would be here. Yeah, there's a small satchel inside, which you pull out, and inside that satchel is a journal or some sort of book, looks handwritten, and a kind of tucked into the same pocket is a key.
Oh. Kind of like looks up. Was there like I didn't see anything like a safe or anything, right?
Not
or
that
like,
you've seen.
or any other like doors or anything in this room.
Mm-mm.
What? Okay. Mr. Key. Okay, gonna open the book and look inside. What's in the book?
You open the book on the desk, trying to read in like the candlelight here, or in the just a little bit of light coming out because it's very dark in here.
Yeah, it's really
As
dark.
you peer over it and kind of skim through it, this goes into more like financial like journalings or dealings, kind of ledgers there, but much more substantial than before. It mostly looks like a log of like income almost. And as you're looking through it, you are realizing that this is a ledger of ATM reserves for House Venture. And
Oh.
it looks substantial.
Okay, can I tell like any sort of like some of the sources or like any sort of identifying sort of like notes or anything like that?
I don't think there would be in there. I think it looks like it's broken up into like months and like gives the breakdown of where things are coming through. You see like some of them like are coming from like contracts or dealings. You'll see like the name of another house and like a ledger of like payments made, another like name of a house and ledger of like payment received, and these are like small amounts. And then you'll see like with each ledger there's like a more considerable sum that is documented that appears almost every month in that log, but it doesn't say anything about where that's coming from.
Okay. Oh man. Morgan wants to take this key really bad, but does Mouse want to?
Do it.
I don't know what it goes to. Okay. Would there be sort of like? Ooh, I got an idea. Okay. I'm assuming there's probably sort of like a lamp here at the desk, or like some candles. And I'm wondering if I could find like a bit of like wax, and I'd like to like maybe like take an impression of the key.
Yes.
Okay. Like I'm thinking like the wax stamp seal. Like if I could like heat that up under the candle and just kind of like press it in there, and have like sort of a.
Yes, you can do that. So you take a second, you like scoot out the desk and you sit down at it, and you're gonna have
very
to
incriminating if someone walks in right now.
Yeah, you're kind of listening out in the hall and you don't hear anybody approaching.
Oh, no.
And you I think you're gonna have to light some of the wax in order to melt it down to get it pliable enough to do an impression of the key. So very quickly, like you find a candle on the table. You find a couple of candles. You light one, begin to melt some of the wax into. I'm imagining like maybe having like a small like a small bowl or some sort of like a. I don't know. Do they have tobacco in this?
Yeah, it was like an ashtray. I feel like in the second series there is,
but I don't know if
but
they
maybe
could
I'm
grow
just-
tobacco in the Final Empire.
Yeah.
Initially, so, but a small
Okay.
something or other that
Something
you
to
pour
think
it
about.
into, just a small container.
A little
You pour it
paperweight.
in, yeah. And as you're sitting there, you suddenly feel this like pressure on you. As
Oh, no.
the cat that was sitting on
cat.
on the chair jumps up in your laps, like starts purring, kind of like rubbing their head up against your arms as you're doing this. They
Tries to do that and kind of like angles a little bit to try to like rub the cat with the elbow. Give it a little bit of attention, but I'm like, I'm doing something right now, cat.
And you get enough of the wax to do an impression of the key. Pulling the key out, it looks solid. Like it you get it pretty perfect.
Okay. All right. I was gonna kind of put key and thing and the book back in the set. Well, okay, because this book with like the adium stuff doesn't seem like necessarily what Twist was like asking for.
That's probably closer to what Twist wanted. Yeah.
Okay, that is okay. This whole book. Okay. Maybe we'll like try to copy the first page. Now I've got like a candle lit. Maybe try to copy down like the most recent page of the book.
Okay.
Like the most recent like.
All right.
Transactions. That's what I'm looking
for. You begin copying down as quickly as you can, and the candlelight as a cat purrs in your lap, continuing to try to jump up in your lap for cuddles. In this small flickering candlelight, we see Mouse as she furiously continues to write down this log. And we are at
running out of time.
Oh my gosh. because I'm
We're
gonna get caught
at,
any second now.
8 o'clock too. So this is
Oh
a
my
perfect
goodness. Okay.
tense moment to, I think, end the stream on. And see what happens next time as we continue the events of this ball. We got a lot to cover still. We got
Yeah.
dancing post dinner. We've got this drop to be made. Whatever the fuck Sasha has gotten up to in the last 2 hours.
We're all very
Um,
curious.
I still have
And,
so much chaos to cause.
A mysterious
Yeah.
administrator that Hadzel has followed to potentially look into as well. Lots of stuff to go on. So we will we'll pick this up in 2 weeks to see where this all goes. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and promote once again. We got a stream tomorrow night at 4 o'clock Eastern time. I guess not night, evening, depending on where you're at. 4 o'clock Eastern time here on GGK. We're going to be playing Thursday's Children. It's a system called Vesen, where we're Scandinavian monster hunters, investigators in the 18th century. Super fun. Come join us for that. I'm going to put on some different music for a bit because that's been going for a while. Join us follow us on Twitter or join our Discord for announcements on everything else that's going on this week. We have our full lineup of shows. If you're watching us live on Twitch, and you can see everything that we've got planned. Unfortunately, we're probably gonna have some schedule changes due to people traveling over the next week. So some of the things that are on our schedule probably aren't going to be happening. For certain, we will not be having anything on. We will not be having Neon Souls on Friday. We may have streams on Tuesday and Thursday. So just bear with us and wait for the announcements on those. Let's do our I didn't do XP, so let's do our XP stuff. Sorry about that. Or improvements. Now I need to remember where that is in the book. Advancements. All right. Where's the list? I am having trouble finding the list. We'll find it off stream. I don't want to sit here for a long time doing this, so we'll do this after the stream and get all that, so people don't have to sit around. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks to pick this all up and see where everything is. Follow everyone on Twitter. Follow us in all the places, click all the buttons. And yeah, thank you to my lovely players. Y'all have been awesome and are always fun to run games for. And thank you to everyone out there in the chat for engaging and saying things that made me really lose track of what I was doing. We will see everyone next time. And until then, good game and good night, Internet.